Now on CoastTV News.
Working on the railroad? What's in store for safety upgrades on the railroad tracks in Georgetown? Election alert, Milton will vote for a new mayor and council members this weekend. Who's on the ballot? And 3 years in, Ukraine honors its fallen. Tensions rise between the U.S. and Europe over the future of the war.
This is CoastTV News at 6.
More safety and a signal. That's what could be coming soon to the railroad in Georgetown. Good evening. I'm Christina DeRobertis. Welcome to Coast TV News at 11. We begin tonight with new plans to improve East Market Street in Georgetown. Now that's a key area where the railroad tracks cross, and now the town is considering adding crosswalks and sidewalks there. Right now, town officials say the street is just not up to standard. Coast TV News reporter Brendan Conroy is live in Georgetown with more on this. Brendan, what can you tell us?
Good evening, Christina. When I spoke with the town manager, what he told me was this project has been in the works, or the idea of it has been in the works for quite some time now. They want to fix these sidewalks right here, make them a little bit bigger, as well as, like you said, add some crosswalks over there near the railroad itself to just make it an overall safer space. And when I spoke with the town manager and other people who live in Georgetown, they told me they're looking forward to this project. Safety improvements for the railroad on East Market Street in Georgetown. That was a big item on the town council's agenda Monday night, and a project DelDOT is getting ready to complete. These improvements involve sidewalk and curb upgrades, brick removal, and coordination with railroad infrastructure to improve pedestrian access. Dale Shiles, who lives in Georgetown, walks near the railroad every day. He told Coast TV it's the crosswalks nearby that need the most attention.
It's really important, and I cross that street usually during the week between Mondays and Fridays, and actually it's a pain because people don't pay attention and they just don't keep an eye out for pedestrians.
Town manager Gene Dvornik gave the report from DelDOT.
Georgetown's becoming a more walking community, and we do have a significant amount of businesses here on the East Market Street corridor, so it'll make it that much safer to get from one side of town across the railroad tracks to the businesses on this side.
DelDOT is expected to start work on this project at the beginning of April, with completion only a week later. When I spoke to Georgetown Mayor Bill West, not only did he tell me he is excited for the safety enhancements that will be coming to this area near the railroad, but also for the safety that it will provide for students and young kids as they walk around this whole Georgetown area as we approach these warmer months. Reporting live in Georgetown, Brendan Conroy, Coast TV News.
Thank you, Brendan. Heading to Ocean City now, you might want to make sure you're parking legally in town, because on Tuesday, the Ocean City Council will discuss a possible price hike for parking fines. If approved, certain parking fines will be doubled while special events are taking place. For example, the 4th of July fireworks or the OC Cruising event. And according to the Ocean City manager, they believe this would be a good way to encourage people to park legally during the busiest parts of the season. Other people, though, they think it's just another way for the town to make some money.
It's a big boost to the economy, bringing extra people in. They're spending the money. They jack up the prices on drinks, hotels, and food. I think parking should be the least of their worries to try to make a quick extra dollar.
Now, after the proposal is presented, the Ocean City Council will then discuss how to move forward. And this story brings us right to our Coast TV poll. We want to know, how should Ocean City handle event parking issues? If you take a look at the results here, most people saying they should have free shuttles. A few people saying more parking garages, stricter enforcement, or lower parking fees. You can still vote. It's not too late. We really want to know what you think on this one, so go over to coasttv.com or use our mobile app to vote. Here's a live look outside now into Ocean City, and here's our chief meteorologist, Paul Williams, with a look at our first alert weather. Good evening, Paul.
Good evening, Christina. And here's our wonderful start to the work week. I mean, hey, temperatures above 50 degrees, and 50 actually is the norm for this time of the year. This has been quite a treat, to be quite honest, and I think the treat will continue throughout the rest of the week. We're in the 40s for the rest of the night with increasing cloud cover, so we're going to see a little more in the way of moisture, but you know what? That works in our favor for it to feel that much more comfortable, because that extra moisture is going to make it feel, well, just kind of fuzzy all around. Take a look. We had a high today of about 57 degrees. That's 7 above the norm. Now, nowhere near the 76, but still, when you consider the fact that we've been, so far away from our normal highs. Look, for example, we've been tracking it for the last 14 days. We only had 2 days where we were either at the norm or slightly above the norm. Other than that, all this blue you see here is indicating the trend downward. In fact, so far down, we have 23 degrees below norm, 20 degrees below norm. I mean, that's just the kind of cold weather we've been dealing with for the last few days and last couple of weeks. So now that we actually have a normal kind of day, it feels like a wonderful and welcomed relief. Now, coming up, Christina, we are going to talk about how much warmer we're going to get and how much longer this is going to stick around.
All right, we'll check back in with you. Thanks, Paul. Well, do you remember the name Ørsted? The Danish company wanted to build the Skipjack wind farm off the Delaware coast before pressing pause on that project about a year ago. Now, Ørsted, Sussex County property owners. Ørsted owns land in Harbison at the intersection of Walker and Diamond Farm Road. Ørsted says the company entered into an agreement to buy this land in 2023. So what will they do with it? Not exactly clear. Ørsted said in a quote, any future plans for the property would be subject to federal and local permits. Now, environmentalists that we spoke with not convinced that the land and the two existing offshore wind farm leases, that it means Ørsted is going to move forward.
Certainly don't read it from our perspective as Ørsted's back on, everything's moving forward again.
And Fenwick Island's mayor, a long opponent to offshore wind, believes this could be an attempt by Ørsted to eventually bring power cables onshore. Milton's municipal election is Saturday, March 1st, with 3 people running to fill 2 council seats. Now, one of the issues locals in town have brought up time and time again is a lack of parking. And here's what those candidates have to say about that.
The town is looking at ways that is most equitable to have that cost covered.
I'm not a real big fan of the proposals that went to the, I believe it was the Finance Committee.
And you'll be able to vote in Milton from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday at the Milton Fire Department. Well, new tonight, a federal judge has ruled that the Trump administration does not have to allow access to the Associated Press yet. Judge Trevor McFadden has declined to issue a temporary restraining order against the White House for denying full access to the Associated Press in covering the Trump administration. He told the court there were several reasons for his ruling. He said there was a difference in the issues of this case and case law presented by both parties. He asked for a fuller briefing before making a decision. And the AP was barred indefinitely from accessing the Oval Office and Air Force One because of its refusal to change its style on the Gulf of Mexico after President Donald Trump renamed it to the Gulf of America. In a statement following the ruling, AP spokesperson Lauren Easton said the agency, quote, will continue to stand for the right of the press and the public to speak freely without government retaliation, unquote. Now, the White House also releasing a statement. They said in part, as we have said from the beginning, asking the president questions in the Oval Office and aboard Air Force One is a privilege granted to journalists, not a legal right, unquote. Well, it has been 3 years since Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The day was marked by the UN passing a resolution condemning Russia for the invasion. Ukrainian President Zelensky hosting Western leaders in Kyiv, and U.S. President Donald Trump hosting France's president to discuss the Russia-Ukraine war. As Sherelle Hubbard reports, efforts to end the war are ramping up.
Ukrainians say it's been a long 3 years.
I feel incredibly tired.
We have undergone a very big transformation.
Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky marked the 3-year anniversary by hosting European leaders at a world memorial in Kyiv. With somber expressions, the leaders placed lanterns to honor the fallen. On X, Zelensky proclaimed his, quote, eternal gratitude to the fallen heroes. He said 3 years of resistance, 3 years of gratitude, 3 years of absolute heroism of Ukrainians. In the U.S., President Donald Trump hosted a world leader of his own.
I think we should never say, I will never send any boots on the ground, because you give a blank check. to violate any type of commitment.
France's president met with Trump in the Oval Office and stressed the importance of Trump standing firm against Putin. This as the U.S. joined Russia to vote against the United Nations General Assembly resolution condemning the war against Ukraine, putting the U.S. at odds with its longtime European allies. Just last week, President Trump falsely accused Ukraine of starting the war.
Instead of standing up to Putin, Donald Trump is siding with him and against our own allies. Instead of condemning Putin's lies, Donald Trump is parroting Russian misinformation.
Democrats in Washington condemning the U.S.'s about-face on the Russia-Ukraine war as Ukraine's future hangs in the balance. I'm Sherelle Hubbard reporting.
And we are just getting started this evening. Still a lot more to tell you about. Coming up, tremendous news. A big grant is bringing more green to one city on Delmarva. But first, new life. Plans are in motion to redevelop a long empty building in Kent County.
Here's a look at your Bay forecast. We're going to push it up to 62 degrees for Tuesday, 58 on Wednesday, chance of showers on Thursday, but back to the lower 60s. Oh, these temperatures are a true treat. We'll talk about just how long this treat will last in your full forecast in just 60 seconds.
You rip and tear your old statements and bills, but thieves use this information to steal your identity. Don't be a victim. Get the ID Police, the new ink roller that encrypts all your old documents. So before you throw it out, just roll it on, and your information is gone, both on the front and through the back. Even if the paper is held up to the light, even your medical information is safe with the ID Police. So block it out before you throw it out. Order now and get your ID Police for as low as $9.99 and get free shipping too. This offer is not available on Amazon, so call or click now to get your ID Police for as low as $9.99 with free shipping. Order now.
Call 1-800-803-0512. That's 1-800-803-0512. Or visit getidpolice.com. So call 1-800-803-0512 now.
Warmer than usual conditions. That's a nice change of pace compared to the cold weather we've been just wrestling with for the past couple of weeks. As we take a look at our Gateway Subaru camera in Ocean City, we're holding right now at a nice, comfortable 42 degrees. Additional moisture in the atmosphere is helping to create some additional cloud cover. But aside from that, I mean, it's actually pretty nice and pleasant as we drop back to 41 with increasing cloud cover. Now, we have no threat of rain here. We could see a passing sprinkle, and I kind of indicated that with my article that's on our website. But overall, we're just going to have moist air and warmer or higher temperatures, which is just going to make it feel that much more comfortable compared to the cold, clammy feel of winter that's had such a tight grip on us. Winds have died down as well, so that helps out a bit for us because we initially were concerned about small craft advisories. Those have just been allowed to expire. So now we've got just normal breeziness along the beaches at this point, and we're staying very quiet. Very inert situation for us at this point. It's 43 degrees in Bethany Beach, a little bit cooler in Ocean Pines at 37 degrees and 39 in Salisbury. But other than those two anomalies, out of all of the temperatures we have currently that we're taking observations of right now, everybody's in the 40s and everybody's on the plus side. In fact, plus 10, plus 12, plus 14. From just 24 hours ago, we are 10 to 14 degrees warmer. So Tuesday is going to be another warm with a good deal of sunshine, particularly in the morning time. Wednesday and Thursday, we remain mild because we're going to stay in the upper 50s, if not lower 60s. So once again, that streak of really great weather will continue. Oh, by the way, we're gaining more sunlight, actually. So today we had sunset at about 5:48. For tomorrow, it's going to be next week rather, it's going to be 5:55. It'll be at 7 o'clock for March 11th and 18th. Now, that 2-hour difference is because we're going to spring forward on March the 9th. But overall, we're walking on sunshine, and then we'll have some cloud cover that'll come in a little bit later on. But before that cloud cover begins to overtake us, we'll have temperatures that'll push it to the 60s before that. You see, by Wednesday afternoon, we're staying pretty clear with temperatures in the upper 50s. And then Wednesday, going into Thursday, that's when the cloud cover begin to overtake our region, and we're watching out for a chance of scattered showers kicking in by then. Same holds true for us for Wednesday for Ocean Pines down to Pocomoke City. Winds are primarily pushing out of the south. That's what the arrows are all about at this point. Temperatures in the 40s. So tonight, partly cloudy. The chill sticks around slightly. Tomorrow, 62. Morning sunshine, mild, warm, increasing cloud cover throughout the day. Wednesday, scattered clouds, but staying nice and 58 degrees. Finally, here's a look at your extended forecast, pardon me. And we really won't get cold again until we get to Sunday.
All right, it's going to be a good week. Thank you, Paul. Well, after sitting vacant for years, the future of a historic Dover building may soon be changing. Last week, the Historic District Commission unanimously approved plans to redevelop the old post office on Lockerman Street. It includes transforming the building into a 3-story mixed-use space featuring 36 apartments, restaurants, retail, and additional commercial spaces.
I think that it's great that we're going to be able to repurpose that site and part of that building. I think that putting it back on the tax rolls is really going to be beneficial, and it's going to be one of the catalysts for downtown redevelopment.
Next month, the Dover Planning Commission will take a look at the plan and decide whether to send it to the City Council for final approval. Now to Salisbury, the city may soon look just a little bit greener. The city is receiving grant money to plant over 800 native trees across the city. The grant money, it's almost $150,000. It comes from the Chesapeake Bay Trust. In addition to planting the hundreds of trees, the city has to register the planted trees with the state and submit progress reports.
I hope that it beautifies the city. I hope it's something that, citizens can appreciate because it'll make the city look pretty and it'll be good for the environment.
And if you know of a neighborhood, a park, or a street that could use a few trees in Salisbury, the city says they're asking for input from the public. Still ahead tonight, wallet warning. The price of a new car is going up. We can explain why. And also coffee cuts. Starbucks is downsizing jobs and its menu.
I would never forget the picture that I have. I'm the only one that's not smiling. Even though I'm with my close friends, I felt alone. I didn't feel pretty. I didn't feel confident. When I got Invisalign, I built my confidence. It was the best investment that I could do.
Rise, 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 and thrive. No pizza.
Ready to upgrade your style? Visit buyatoyota.com or scan this QR code and start your journey today. From refined performance to elevated design and tech, your new Camry is waiting with deals just a click away. Right now, buy a new Toyota Camry with low 4.99% APR financing. Toyota, let's go places.
Flashing lights. See them? And you know to go slow. Now we put that same technology in the palm of your hand with Lizard Flare. It's the high-tech safety flare with no flame. Lizard Flare uses 15 high-intensity LED strobes that can be seen nearly a mile away, and a powerful magnet that sticks to your car without exiting the vehicle. Look, flares are dangerous, but Lizard Flare won't let you down. A dead battery, an empty gas tank. With Lizard Flare, help is on the way. Lizard Flare Pro has an ultra-bright flashlight too.
Get your Lizard Flare for only $9.99, but wait, Lizard Flare may be discontinued. Due to rising costs, Lizard Flare is stopping manufacturing effective immediately. There is a strict limit of 2 vehicle packs per order. Call now.
This may be your last chance, so call 1-800-604-4696. That's 1-800-604-4696 or visit lizardflare.com now.
Download the Coast TV News app on your Apple or Android devices. This is Coast TV News at 11.
Here's some good news for people who can't tolerate or just don't like dairy. It won't cost extra to get plant-based milk in your coffee at Dunkin' Donuts anymore. The restaurant chain says the new pricing will start March 5th. A spokesperson said the policy change was guided by guest feedback, but there's likely a lot more to the decision. First, competitors like Starbucks, Dutch Bros, Tim Hortons, and Scooters already made that change. Also, a class action lawsuit accused Dunkin' of discriminating against people with milk allergies or lactose intolerance. Meanwhile, Starbucks announced job cuts on Monday. CEO Brian Nichols said Starbucks will be laying off over 1,100 corporate workers as it tries to turn around its business. The company will also be eliminating several hundred open and unfilled positions. In addition, the coffee chain is going to eliminate about 30% of its food and beverage offerings over the next few months. They're trying to streamline things. So that includes some Frappuccino blended drinks, its Royal English breakfast latte, and white hot chocolate. Well, new car prices are pricey. The good news is that prices dipped by 2.2% last month, but there's fear that President Donald Trump's proposed tariffs on cars imported into the U.S. could cause prices to rise again. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan explains how tariffs could impact the entire auto industry.
In the market to buy a new car, be prepared to pay a lot. The average price for a new car last month was over $48,000. That's $11,000 more than 5 years ago, according to Kelley Blue Book, which monitors auto prices.
Obviously, cars today look a lot different than they did 20, 30 years ago. All the technology, that costs money.
Jessica Caldwell with Edmunds, a car expert company, says prices could go up even more this year. That's because President Donald Trump has proposed 25% tariffs on all cars imported to the U.S. beginning in April to incentivize companies to keep jobs in the U.S. and encourage buyers to buy American. But that could cause sticker shock on foreign cars.
That's going to add significant cost.
But it's not just foreign cars that would be impacted. Prices on American cars are likely to go up as well. That's because many U.S. companies have plants overseas and wouldn't be able to move production by the spring.
The auto industry is such a global business now. It's not so regionalized where everything comes from this and that this is where it's sold, this is where it's produced.
The Trump administration has said the tariffs would include semiconductors, a part that is crucial to new cars. But it's not clear if these tariffs would apply to all car parts. If they do, it could mean higher prices to simply repair your car if those parts are made overseas.
If you think you're going to buy a vehicle in the next 6 months or a year and you're worried about all of this, it's probably better to buy sooner rather than later.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
If you're having a rough week, I know it's only Monday, but maybe you're having a rough week already. Well, here's something to look forward to. On Friday, you get a weekly dose of local good news from CoastTV with personal features, fun things to do every weekend, and more. And you can sign up for free at coasttv.com/signup. Get your weekly dose of joy directly to your inbox on Friday. Coming up in sports tonight, see if Indian River or Del Castle girls basketball is moving on past the first round of the Delaware State playoffs. We'll be right back.
Late Night with Seth Meyers. Late nights on Coast TV.
What if your morning was just easier? At Wawa,
Good morning.
it is. With everything you need to get your day moving. Hi. Mornings made easy. Gotta have a Wawa.
I've needed a new left hip for about 15 years. The last 2 cortisone shots I got were bone on bone, and they didn't last 6 months. They lasted maybe a month. I was in a lot of pain. The staff at the Joint Surgery Center at Atlantic General Hospital were incredibly helpful. I was back to work 2 days short of a month, which I found amazing. You learn to trust people when you get good care.
Start your journey to relief today. Atlantic General Hospital. Expert care every day.
Tomorrow at 4 on Coast Life, we're exploring a unique new community where beautiful homes meet a true sense of belonging. Then, in our great debate, we discuss if pineapple should really be on pizza. Coast Life, tomorrow at 4 on Coast TV.
It's the incredible Red Dog, the amazing universal socket tool that fits, grips, and tightens virtually any fastener. Look at all the different sizes and shapes, nuts, bolts, and screws. Any head will do. Red Dog grabs on tight and locks into place fast. It replaces hundreds of different tools, yet it's smaller than a battery. 54 telescoping steel pins mold around any object. Then, up to 150 pounds of torque knock out rusted fasteners. You can get Red Dog for just $19.99. Breaking news: Red Dog may be discontinued. Due to supply chain shortages, Red Dog is stopping manufacturing immediately. There's a strict limit of 3 per order while supplies last. Order now.
Call 1-800-519-7208. That's 1-800-519-7208 or visit byreddog.com. Call 1-800-519-7208 now.
Get the Coast TV News app. The latest and most up-to-date stories for your coastal community. Coastal news customized to your needs. Download the Coast TV News app on your Apple or Android devices. Coast TV, our community, your news.
Why settle for any meal deal when you can have one you really want? Wawa's $5 Big Breakfast Deal gets you any Sizzly breakfast sandwich, any size hot or iced coffee, and a hash brown, all for just $5. Big taste, big value. Mornings made easy. Gotta have a Wawa.
Looks like the new standards for labeling a food healthy have been pushed back. Late last year, the Food and Drug Administration updated the nutritional requirements for a product to be described as healthy on its packaging. The update was scheduled to go into effect Tuesday, but last month, President Donald Trump issued a pause on new rules. As a result, the FDA says the new rule will start about 2 months from now on April 28th. The new requirements include a limit on added sugars and sodium. Food companies have until 2028 to update their products if they want to use the healthy label. Continuing coverage now of the U.S. measles outbreak. The number of cases continues to grow, with illnesses reported now in 8 states this year, the bulk of which have been in West Texas, where 90 cases have been identified since late January. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has answers to some of the most common questions about measles.
It's one of the world's most contagious infectious diseases, and it's important to know the warning signs of measles. Early on, it can mimic a respiratory illness, causing a cough, red eyes, and extreme congestion. There may also be a high fever that may spike to more than 104 degrees. Typical measles cases also have a red splotchy rash that develops 3 to 5 days after symptoms start, and tiny white spots inside the mouth 2 to 3 days before symptoms begin. Experts say vaccination is the best protection.
For the vast majority of people, if you've gotten your measles shots, you should be protected. It should be something that works for life.
The vaccine is typically given to young children. Officials say the first dose, given between 12 and 15 months, is 93% effective against measles. The second dose, given around age 4 to 6, boosts that efficacy to 97%.
If you are living in an area where measles is circulating and you're worried about that, getting that second shot earlier is fine.
Despite the recent outbreak, experts say measles isn't becoming more severe. Before mass vaccinations, improvements in medical care were already lowering the death rate. However, before 1963, when vaccines weren't routinely given, there were between 400 and 500 people dying every year in the U.S. from measles. In 2015, there was 1 death, the most recent in the U.S. from the illness.
That's really what this vaccine is designed to prevent.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, sports fans. Tonight, UMES women's basketball hoping to even the season series with South Carolina State and earn a conference victory. Let's get into the action.
First quarter and Maryland Eastern Shore dominating. On the other side, the SC State Bulldogs responding with a bucket of their own. But it was the Hawks that couldn't be stopped. Hawks up 49-18 at half, and UMES earns their 4th MEAC victory. This one over the Bulldogs 70-29 and advancing to 9-16 on the season. To the first round of the Delaware Girls Basketball State Playoffs, number 23 seeded Del Castle visiting number 10 Indian River. It's tied at 42 with 4 minutes to go in the game. Here comes the Cougars breaking a press, making the inside pass to Eden Alexander. She puts Del Castle back up. On the other end, Maya Whittington looking to answer already with 19 points, but instead dishes it off to Tiara Waters. No hesitation, jumper is perfect, and we're back at a tie game. Just over a minute left. Cougars attempting to inbound, but they can't find anybody. Whittington scoops it up, dishes to Abigail Bertling. She scores, and IR is out in front. Delcastle quick in transition the other way. It's a little give and go as Watson pulls up with the one-handed floater, and it bounces home. We're even at 49. Ensuing IR possession, Bertling finds Sophia Skirchy in good position, spins, puts up the shot, and it rattles in. IR back out ahead by 2. Now last shot for the Cougars, down 3 with 2 seconds left. They quickly inbound, but IR is all over it. Indian River evades the upset, moving on to round 2 with a 52-49 victory.
That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
Listen to Big 107.7, Delmarva's classic rock station.
It's time, America. Time to break out the red, the white, and blue oval. The President's Day sales event is here with great offers on powerful, capable Ford SUVs and Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks. There's huge inventory and great selection at your local Ford dealer. Want more? How about this special offer? Get 3.9% financing for 60 months or $7,000 cash back on Ford Expedition during the President's Day sales event.
Coaches make a difference for their athletes and communities, and we want to honor them.
Each month, the Preston Automotive Group will select a coach who makes a difference and donate $500 to their organization. Then at the end of the year, 3 of these coaches will receive an additional donation to their program.
The coach can be from any sport at any level up to and including high school.
Nominate your coach today at DelmarvaSportsNetwork.com.
Delmarva Sports Network's Coach Who Makes a Difference. Sponsored by Preston Automotive Group.
Hi, Chef Daniel Green here with Rice Robot, the 1, 2, 3 rice cooker. Watch, 1 add the white cup for rice, 2 add the blue cup for water, 3 click it and let Rice Robot perfectly cook it.
The secret is perfect cook technology for even cooking. Then Rice Robot senses when it's done, auto stops and keeps it warm to serve.
It won't burn, overcook or undercook, guaranteed.
Get the complete Rice Robot cooking system, all for just $39.99. Ordered now. Do you have stains in your carpet that won't come out? You need Horsepower Bullshot, the all-new hands-free carpet cleaner and deodorizer. Just spray and the stain and odor go away. Got pet messes? This black light shows a urine stain is gone in just seconds. The advanced foam action formula penetrates deep to emulsify and neutralize stains and odors. It erases blood stains, makeup, juice, coffee, and more. For older and tougher stains, just give it a little rub and watch as Bullshot works its magic. Red wine spills? They're no problem for Bullshot. And watch up close as burnt bacon grease stains are obliterated right before your very eyes. Get Horsepower Bullshot for only $19.99. But wait, due to rising costs, this may be your last chance to get yours. And there's a strict limit of 3 at this low, low price. So don't wait. Order now.
Call 1-800-693-6210 or visit buybullshot.com. So call 1-800-693-6210 or visit buybullshot.com now.
Lester Holt is stepping down as anchor of NBC Nightly News. Holt has held the position since June of 2015, and in that decade, he's covered the defining events of the era, including the rise of President Trump, the COVID pandemic, and the January 6th riot at the U.S. Capitol, also the presidency of Joe Biden, and many, many more. But don't worry, Lester Holt, he's not leaving NBC. He will instead focus full-time on his role at Dateline, where he's been the principal anchor for almost 15 years.
All right, let's take a look at our umbrella giveaway winner. It's Tamika Taylor of Salisbury. Congratulations, Tamika, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. By the way, you keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Brockstedt, Mendelis, and Federico. Finally, let's take a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Kind of interesting because we're going to stay at 62 for Tuesday and for Thursday, but we'll have a better chance of scattered showers on Thursday, and we'll stay elevated on Saturday till we hit Sunday when it's going to get colder.
All right, thanks for that, Paul. I hope it stays warm for a little while. I can just feel my seasonal sadness wearing off of me now. Thanks so much for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For some more local news and local weather, you can always find that on our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next, and we'll see you back here tomorrow morning for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.